So our second tip, I can't say it often enough, so I won't belabor it again now, but it's the hiring authority that you need to talk to. Everyone else that you're talking to is fine, so long as they're going to get you an introduction to the hiring authority. But it's the person who can say, yes, I want you on payroll, that really has any value in the conversations that you're having. So you need to get to that person. And I love this perspective of how to define who is the hiring authority. It's the right person at the right level in the right company. So, the hiring authority for my recent college grads looking for an entry-level job is very different than the hiring authority for the COO that I'm working with right now. Who is your hiring authority? Who is that person that can say, yes, you're on payroll? Gatekeepers, we used to think of them as the admin folks. Today, as much as anything, if you're actually going to visit a company, it's the security folks, but it could be a lot of other people as well. So think about who are those gatekeepers and how can we get them on board to help us, or how can we circumnavigate them? And today we've got to think about the technology gatekeepers as well. And how do we get past them? The applicant tracking system, it's nothing more than a gatekeeper. So how do we get past it? It's a conversation for a whole other day, but that's what we need to be looking at when they're talking about getting a job. What is the gatekeeper and how do we get past it? How do we get to that right person at the right level? And I would argue that the easiest and fastest way to get to that person is through networking, which is why I want to spend so much time on it tonight. Find gatekeepers are HR talent acquisition. You're absolutely right, Krishna. Their job is to screen you out, and anything or anyone that's purpose is to screen you out is a gatekeeper without question. But yes, as Krishna is saying, oftentimes that's the first person that you have to talk to. If you're going through the traditional hiring process, I absolutely agree with you, Krishna. I want you not to go through that process. I want you to be talking to the hiring manager in a networking scenario, in a place where we're not looking for a job right now, or at least we're not telling them we're looking for a job, so that we can build relationship. This way, when they are ready to hire someone, the first person they're going to think of is you.
I have a question, Paul.
Yeah.
What happens if you are interested in a particular position that's been posted? You want to avoid the gatekeepers like the HR and the recruiting folks, and you go into the website and you find the whoever's the VP or whoever's in charge of that particular unit that you really want to work in. It's not necessarily a networking opportunity specifically, but it is a relationship building opportunity where you can have some conversations and create a relationship with that person, and then loop back around later and say, look, I just noticed that you posted this position. Can we talk about that a little bit?
I absolutely agree. Unfortunately, sometimes waiting to come back around like that may be too long, right? So you need to apply when you see the opportunity. Whether or not we like it, so there are times you have to go through the ATS. I try to avoid it like the plague, but if that's the scenario, I see a position, apply so that you don't lose out on the opportunity. At the same time, now you go through the other back door and you see, oh, look, I know this person, or I know that person, or I can get an introduction to this person. And you do that. And then in the course of a couple of weeks of conversation, oh, by the way, did you know I saw that you had this position open? From your perspective, what do you think? Based on your knowledge of me, am I a good fit for that? Would you be willing to put a good word in for me? Right. So yes, we need to do exactly what you're saying, Milry. But the only thing I would add, as much as I hate the applicant tracking system, I hate doing any kind of an application, If that's where you found out about the job, you need to fill that out right away so you don't lose out on the opportunity.